Nick. My name's Annie. I'm going to be your occupational therapist today. Today we're just going to be doing a mat evaluation, meaning I'm just going to do a few tests on your strength and flexibility as well as looking at your balance and posture. Is it okay if I touch you during the test today?
Yep.
Awesome. If you feel any pain, let me know and I'll stop what I'm doing or accommodate. Is it okay if I record the session?
Yes.
Perfect. And lastly, I just wanted you to know that I washed my hands and sanitized all equipment before you came in to ensure a clean and safe environment, okay? All right, let's get started. To begin, I'm going to take some measurements. Now, while I'm doing this, I'm also going to be observing your balance and posture. I'll be looking at your neck and head, your shoulders, your trunk and hips, and your knees. Now, when you came in today, I already observed your ambulation, which is your walking balance, and your transfer as you're sitting down. But I'll start my measurements. To begin, could I have you lift up this arm? I'm going to measure chest depth. Perfect, thank you. I'm also going to measure shoulder width and then chest width. Would you please move your arms for me? Hip width and knee to knee. Perfect. Moving on to the back, I'm going to measure from the top of your head down to the seat. Oh, I had it backwards. I'm going to measure the top of your head down to the seat, and then the middle of your head down to the seat, and then top of the shoulder down to the seat on both sides, from the acromion process of the shoulder on both sides, an inferior angle of the scapula on both sides, the elbow on both sides, the iliac crest on both sides. Perfect. Lastly, I'll be measuring from the sacrum to the popliteal fossa, which is your tailbone to your knee, and then knee to foot, and the length of your foot, and I'm going to do that on this side as well. Tailbone to knee, knee to foot, and length of foot. Perfect, thank you. All right, Nick, now we're going to be doing some flexibility and strength exercises. To begin, let's go through some range of motion. So just go ahead and mirror my motions, okay? So go ahead and do this. That's up, shoulder flexion, go back, shoulder extension, go up like this, shoulder abduction, shoulder adduction, shrug, shoulder elevation, and then lastly, arms like this, go in, that's shoulder internal rotation, and shoulder external rotation. And you've just proven that you can do them by yourself, but I'm still going to passively move you through them just so I can feel for tone and reflex, okay? So I'm going to do shoulder flexion and extension, abduction, adduction, internal rotation, and external rotation. All right, same with this side. Again, feeling for tone and reflexes. Flexion, extension, abduction, oh, I did that wrong. Abduction, adduction, internal rotation, and external rotation. And I'm always making sure to support you under your joints, okay? Next, we're going to be doing elbows. So I'm just going to have you do this. That's elbow flexion. This, that's elbow extension. Again, I'm going to passively work you through them. Flexion, extension. Flexion, extension. Perfect. Next, we're going to do wrists and hands. I'm going to have you hold your wrists like this. I'm going to apply some pressure. Go ahead and resist it, okay? Perfect. Now, can you go like this? Perfect. Now, flip your hands like this. Go ahead and squeeze all my fingers as hard as you can at the same time. Awesome. And then lastly, for hand and wrist, can you touch every finger to your thumb? Beautiful. Okay, we're going to move on to hips now. Can you go like that? Both legs? That's hip flexion. Perfect. And can you move your legs in and out like that? Both of them? Perfect. That's internal and external rotation. Now I'm just going to move you through it passively. Up, and then in and out. Perfect. Then I'm going to flex, and then just move you in and out. Perfect. All right. Lastly, I'm just going to look at your feet. Can you point your feet down for me? Awesome. Can you point them up? Perfect. Can you point your toes in, then out? Awesome. You did everything amazingly. Next, I'm going to be taking some measurements, okay? So to begin, I'm going to do some shoulder measurements. Let's start with flexion again, okay? Moving forward. Perfect. Now go ahead and move back into extension. Awesome. Now do abduction straight out the side. Perfect. And then internal rotation. Do you remember that one? It's going like this. Perfect. And then do external rotation. Perfect. I'm going to do this side now. Go ahead and flex. You got it. Okay. Now go ahead and extend. All right. Now abduct straight out the side. As high as you can. Good job. And then lastly, internal rotation and external rotation. Good job. All right. Now, the only other measurement I need to take is your internal and external rotation of your hips. So this is the one where you're bringing your legs in and out. So go ahead and do external rotation, which means your legs going in. Perfect. Now go ahead and go that way. Awesome. Now this leg. All right, now go outward. Perfect. That was all for measurements. Lastly, I'll just be doing some manual muscle testing. So to start, I'm going to do shoulder flexion. So go ahead and bring your arm out like this. Apply some pressure. Perfect. Go ahead and extend. 2, 3. Perfect. Go ahead and abduct out to your side. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. And now for abduction. 1, 2, 3. And lastly, for internal rotation, I'm going to pull out. Go ahead and resist the pressure. 1, 2, 3. Good job. And externally rotate. 1, 2, 3. Great job. I'm going to do the same things on the other side, but first, I'm going to go ahead and have you shrug your shoulders. I'm going to apply some pressure. Go ahead and resist it. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Go ahead and flex this shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Go ahead and extend it. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and abduct it. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Now hold it to your side. 1, 2, 3. All right. And then lastly, internal rotation. 1, 2, 3. And go ahead and externally rotate. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. You did great on everything. I'm going to do testing on your hip flexion. So go ahead and bring your leg up. I'm going to apply pressure while supporting you. Go ahead and resist, okay? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. We're going to do the same thing on this side. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do hip internal and external rotation. So go ahead and bring this foot in. I'm going to apply pressure. Go ahead and resist. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now let's do the other way. 1, 2, 3. Same with this leg. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Last thing we're going to do is knee extension. So go ahead and hold your knee up like this. I'm going to apply some pressure. 1, 2, 3. Good job. Same with this side. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful job. Next, we'll be moving on to the next portion where I'm going to have you lay down, okay? All right, Nick, for this last portion of the mat evaluation, I'm going to start by doing a pelvic exam, okay? So I'm going to find your ASISs, and I'm going to move your pelvis forward and backwards, and then up one side, up the other, and then I'm just going to rotate on both sides. Perfect. Next, I'm going to feel your spine and shoulders, starting with your spine. Feels good. Now I'm going to feel your shoulders. Awesome. And then I'm just going to move your shoulders through elevation and depression again while feeling for tone and reflex, okay? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Now I'm going to do the other side. Awesome. Next, I'm going to do a hip evaluation. So starting on this side, I'm going to have you bring both feet up so that they're on the ground. Yep, just like that. And I'm going to have you bring this knee as close to your chest as possible. I'm going to take some measurements. Perfect. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Bring knee to chest again. Great job. Okay. Next, I'm going to test your knee range of motion for flexion and extension. So to begin with flexion, I'm going to have you bring your ankle as close to your bottom as possible. Perfect. Now go ahead and lay both legs flat so I can test extension. Wonderful. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Go ahead and bring your feet up again. And bring your ankle as close to your bottom as possible. Awesome. Now go ahead and spread both feet out. Lots of movement, I know. Perfect. Last thing we're going to do is check elbow flexion and extension. So go ahead and bring your elbow up like this as far as you can, so I can measure. Perfect. Now go ahead and just lay it flat and extend it. All right. Do the other side. Go ahead and flex your elbow on this side. Okay, and lay it down, extend it. Perfect. Lastly, I'm going to have you flip over onto your stomach. All right, scoot my way a little bit, please. Perfect. Now I'm just checking your skin integrity, making sure there are no cuts or tears. And I'm going to test hip extension. So can you, keeping your legs straight, bring this leg up as high as possible while keeping your hips on the floor? Awesome. Can you do it on the other side as well? Awesome. You did great actively, but I'm going to passively work through that motion just to feel for tone and reflex. Great job. I'm going to do it on this leg as well. Perfect. Now I'm going to take some measurements, okay? So again, while keeping your hips on the ground, go ahead and bring your leg back so I can measure hip extension as much as possible. Perfect. I'm going to do this side. Same thing on this side. Go ahead. Awesome. Now I'm going to do a manual muscle test. So I'm going to support you right here. I'm going to have you bring it up again. I'm going to apply pressure to your hamstrings. Go ahead and resist it, okay? 1, 2, 3. Wonderful job. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Supporting here, putting pressure here. 1, 2, 3. Great job. Last thing I'm going to do is test knee flexion. Just the manual muscle test for it. So go ahead and bring just your leg up. I'm going to apply support here and apply pressure here. Go ahead and resist, okay? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Oops, sorry, kicked you there. All right. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. You can go ahead and flip back onto your back or sit up. That concludes the mat evaluation. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Awesome. Well, great job, and thank you for participating.